Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to the 18th edition of the Take One podcast. I am your host, Chris, and I know it's been a minute since I put out a podcast. Actually, it's been like about 2 weeks now. It's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. I recently got a new job, so that is like crazy. Like, that's just basically been taking up a lot of my time, and it's been tiring me out. So last week I wanted to put out this podcast. I wanted to so bad, but it was just, I was so tired, just so tired. And so even today I'm tired as hell, but I'm like, I need to get something out. I seen a few movies that I want to do movie reviews on. I mean, I put out stuff like recently, like I say about a couple weeks ago, about around the same time I had put out a podcast, and also go check that out. Also, I recently put up the Sausage Party review. I put up the what else did I get? I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. I told you I'm tired. I got the Slasher Season 1 review. It was a show that I saw on Netflix, and I wanted to do a review on it. So go ahead and check that out. It's on my YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. As well as I watched Stranger Things, and the review for that is up on my page as well, or up on my channel as well. So go check that out. But I mean, lately I'm going to try and catch up with everything, but I wanted to put out something this week, and here we go, episode 18. I got a few things to talk about. Some of this is like old from like last week, but I wanted to kind of touch up on it. I didn't want it to get too longer. I didn't want it to go too much longer before, I put out a podcast or, have this stuff be irrelevant right now. But there's a few things I wanted to touch on. So let me just go ahead and get started on it. This is not going to be a long show. I'm going to try and, make it as short as I can, because I want to get this wrapped up and kind of get some rest. But first off, I want to start off with the image of Pennywise from the 2017 movie It, the remake. And they had put out, at first, they put out like a face picture of Pennywise, and it was like, yeah, he looks creepy as hell. And I love that picture. I believe I talked about it on the podcast. And so they had released recently a full body picture. It's the same picture, but it's a full body showing like his whole get up and what he's wearing. And I have to say, he looks creepy as hell. I mean, it looks, I don't know, from like just the first glance, it looked like he was floating, but I'm guessing he's standing up or whatever, and he looks creepy and scary as hell. Like, this is a clown you would not want at your children's birthday party. I like it. I like how he looks, the overall feel of it. And it's like, I hadn't watched the original It, like a lot of people. Maybe one day I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch it in its entirety. And I know I'm gonna have a lot of problems with it, as I've heard that I'm stubborn and just whatever. But it's like, I'm gonna eventually watch it. But just the overall, it looks like they're going for a more scarier tone, given the fact that it had like a scary tone to it, but it's like the Tim Curry It clown or Pennywise character was more kind of loony and wacky or whatever. He was a clown that you can invite to a birthday party. But if you knew what type of clown he was, then you would not be around him. But this clown is like, you would not want to be nowhere in the vicinity of this clown. And this new Pennywise looked like it's scary. And it looked like they're reaching for a scarier tone for it. Even just from that picture. If that picture that they got out for Pennywise, if this is what the tone of the movie is going to be like, I hope that I am in for a thrill ride. Like, as of late, I've had like my reservations. Like, y'all know me, well, for those who don't know me or whatever, horror films is kind of like one of my top favorite genres of movie. And lately, I haven't really been into like horror films lately, because all these different horror films that come out, it's like they're not that good. And it's like, I've seen a few this year. I've seen Hush, The Conjuring 2, Lights Out, as well as recently I did Don't Breathe. That review is going to be coming out. But those movies is putting a little bit more faith in like horror for me, that they can actually make good horror films. So I mean, and this looks like it's crazy. So I hope it's crazy, I hope it's scary, and I hope it's creepy. But just from the image alone, it looks like that's what they're going for, and I hope they succeed, because I literally want to go into this movie and have the time of my life. And I'm sorry, that was my tablet. Hopefully it don't make another sound before the end of this podcast. But yeah, I mean, just to wrap it all up, I love the look of the clown. He looks creepy, and I don't think that they're gonna go for any type of goofy type tone for this. So I mean, I kind of like that. It's a modern look, somewhat. It's a modern take on it. So I like it. And so moving on to the next subject. Okay, now this is some wrestling stuff. So any of you guys don't like watch wrestling or care for it at all, y'all can skip past this. I have the times down there, so you can go ahead and skip to the next thing. But the next subject is a wrestling thing. So I mean, just look at the topics or whatever you want to like. But it's whatever. I know it's a acquired taste, but when it comes down to it, WWE lately has had a few suspensions. And I know I kind of like said that wrong. Suspensions. And it's basically just them suspending people for violating the wellness policy, which is basically if you take any illegal substance then and you get tested and you come back positive for whatever drug you take, you get 30 days. You get a 30-day suspension, no pay, and all that stuff. And so a little bit like a few months ago, Roman Reigns, one of their top people, I guess you can say, besides John Cena and like Randy Orton, like Roman Reigns is the top one. And so he got busted for, it hadn't even been released. And even now, it hadn't even been released what he took or what he got, what he got caught, what was in his system. But he got busted for the wellness policy, and this is one of their top talents. And then recently, all kind of like in together in concessions, like one after another, Alberto Del Rio, Paige, and Eva Marie all got busted in the wellness policy and got suspended for 30 days. And it's so crazy because Alberto Del Rio and Paige both got suspended within the same time frame. I think within hours of each other. So this is crazy. And I believe it was last week they got suspended. So they got a good ways to go. And I saw this thing on Facebook that I thought was like hilarious. And so they had Roman Reigns, Paige, Alberto Del Rio, and Eva Marie kind of like inside photos. And so they put for the caption, forget the nation of domination, it's the nation of violation. And I thought that was hilarious. That was just a play on words, and I just found that hilarious. But as far as that... As far as that, Eva Marie, her whole thing was that she got suspended because I guess she was authorized that she can take this drug, and so she needed the right paperwork in order for WWE, but like, okay, whatever, and she didn't turn in her papers in the right amount of time, so she still got suspended for that. Which it's like that. I think it is kind of unfair. Because even her husband said that she was like unjustly, suspended. And I kind of agree with that. I mean, of course, we don't know the whole full thing. We only knows what, what was put out, what Eva Marie said, and, what made WWE might want to release or whatever. But as far as that goes, it doesn't make any sense because you give people, a certain amount of time to put in, information. Cool, whatever. And I get that if they don't have it in, I mean, do something else. Like, why would you still suspend her if she has the paperwork? Even if it was like a day later, I get like, these like jobs like that. It's like you supposed to have stuff in when you gotta have it in, or else you're gonna face the consequences. But I feel like if she still has the papers that's saying that like these were prescribed to her by her doctor, that she needs to take them for whatever reason, it's like, why are you still suspending her for 30 days? So right now it's more of like you're punishing her for having the paperwork in on late. and it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, I feel like that was kind of unjustly, but I mean, she seems to be okay with it, or that's what she wants people to believe, that she's okay with it and what WWE told her to do. Because I mean, WWE, it's WWE. You're making money. You don't want to lose that job, especially if you're not like if you're not just been treated horrible. You want to keep that job. So she is, I guess you could say, in a sense, kind of right for replying like that about like what happened. So I mean, I don't blame her, and it's so crazy. And Alberto Del Rio, with his situation, I believe I've heard that he has a clause in his contract that may allow him to get out of his contract, I believe either next month or October. And so after the suspension is over, or while it's going on, Alberto Del Rio might end up basically leaving WWE, which I don't blame him, because they haven't been using him right. He came back and he was like Mexican American, just doing that whole gimmick, and then they just haven't been putting him in the right place. And so I can get his frustration with wanting to leave. So I mean, if he does, it is. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's sad to know that, but it's whatever. And Paige, I don't know. She's floating around. I think she has like a couple more years on her contract or whatever, but I don't know what's been up with her. She hasn't been on TV much, but Paige is kind of like a person that she does what she does. A lot of times she gets in trouble, and I don't know, maybe she did something to get put in the doghouse when it comes to WWE, and maybe it was like, maybe this is close to the last straw for her. I mean, because this is all their first violations. So it's not like, Paige did this before, Alberto Del Rio did this before. No, this is all their first violations. So hopefully when Paige come back, it'll be something totally different. Hopefully Alberto Del Rio, if he decides to stay, if it is true that he has a clause in there that he can leave, or, allows him to leave out of his contract, if he stays, hopefully they can use him right. If they don't, then he really does need to go, because I mean, if the company ain't doing nothing with you, why are you staying? I will be in that same mind frame, and then you get busted for that. So I don't know, it is whatever. But I just wanted to give y'all my thoughts. But moving on to the next subject, it's more WWE stuff, and what I wanted to talk about real quick is basically the whole title situation with WWE. And I'm sorry I keep hitting the microphone stand. I'm tired. I'm trying to get through this. But WWE, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They put out, they did the brand split. Certain wrestlers went to Raw, some went to SmackDown, or superstars, as you want to call them. But, as they want to call them. But it was like, since you did that, you're splitting up the titles. So Raw needs some titles, or Raw needed a world title or whatever, and SmackDown needed some titles. So they needed to create their own titles. So it was revealed SummerSlam last week. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. It was revealed what the title looked like. And I'm going to try and make all this quick, because I got a lot to say about it, but I'm not trying to talk for too long. But, they revealed it. And not surprisingly, no one really liked the belt. Or it's people who hated the belt. Me personally, I don't like the belt. I feel like it's sloppy and it's lazy. To me, it's like, you are a $1 billion company, and you have all this money at your disposal to where you can hire people. You can get a team to get together and create an awesome looking title. But yet you chose to use the same title, just color it a different color. And that's the Universal title. It's like, what? I get the whole red kind of matching with like Raw and stuff, but it's like, why? And even just the name, the Universal title, it's like y'all couldn't get more creative than that. I think what it is like, I know WWE and certain people are like, oh well, y'all paying attention more to the belt than y'all the matches. Pay attention to the matches. The belt don't matter. It matters on the what's going on behind it as far as like the wrestlers, who's fighting for it, and what's going on with that. But at the same time, it's like you can't look past it. I know a lot of the wrestlers looking at it like, what? This is what WWE pumped out? Like, really? Like, y'all couldn't sit down and draw out different designs for a belt and come out with a better design? Y'all had to use the same exact design that you used for the WWE World Title and just color it a different color? That's so lazy. And it just showed you that they pumped out these titles real quick. Like, they had months to prepare. I mean, you advertised the brand split for like about a month or two before it even happened. So you had time to work on this. So why are you just now pumping out belts that look like they're just a rush job? And it looks so lazy. And it was last week we were given the new women's title or the SmackDown women's title for SmackDown, and then I guess it's the SmackDown Tag Team Championship titles or whatever were shown, and it's just like there's no originality. The women's title looks just like the women's title on Raw. Like, what is the difference? It's just a different color, and then the tag team titles on SmackDown look exactly like it's just. There is no difference. If y'all are splitting this brand or these brands or whatever, and you want there to be a difference, make them a difference. Don't make them the same. Y'all making it a carbon copy. It kind of sucks, and it bums me out, and a lot of other people that WWE was just so lazy with this. Was just so lazy and couldn't even come up with like names for them. I get it's not too many things you can call a women's title. You already got the women's title, so what you gonna call the women's title 2 or the second women's title? It's just like you needed something. They would have did better with just saying the Raw Heavyweight Championship, and I told you I'm gonna keep hitting the microphone. Call it the Raw World Heavyweight Championship, the SmackDown World Heavyweight Championship. Well, just go like that. They would have did better doing that, but it just kind of sucks that they're just not putting the effort in, and it shows. I mean, we already know that they're not putting in the effort in the storylines, and it shows that they're not putting the effort in just the titles. It's like they don't care. It kind of sucks to me. I wish that they would have worked on it a little bit more, but I mean, we got what we got. Hopefully, we'll grow to like it, but it's just, I don't know. If I was a wrestler and I had to hold that championship, I would be like, yeah, I'll be champion, but I will not hold that title or whatever the hell. But yeah, it's whatever. So, moving on to the next subject. So, I ended up watching the trailer to Rings, which is the third installment to the Ring trilogy. And there's not really too much I can say about it. It looks like every generic scary movie. The first Ring movie I liked. The second one I did like too. It wasn't as good as the original, but it sufficed. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't a horrible horror film. And it's like I don't even know why they made a third one. But now it's kind of, it's not there anymore. It looks like maybe, like literally, if you didn't put, make the title Rings and you put Ouija, then we just, that's what the trailer looks like. Now, given this movie might be freaking awesome. It may be scary as hell, but I doubt it. It looks like every other like generic movie that came out this year, every scary movie, and it's just I didn't like it. Like it had elements of the trailer where it just seemed like they're trying to do so much with it that they couldn't even do it. And as far as that goes, it's just with the TV falling on the ground and then the water coming out and then the TV come on. It just, I don't know. Maybe in the movie that scene would probably be scary, but if that's really the majority of that scene, I don't think there's going to be anybody scared in the theater. It's just hopefully this is the last movie that they're doing. And from what I hear, that this is on the shelf for years before, whatever. So they should have kept it on the shelf. Or this seemed like it literally. Oh, there go my damn tablet. Anyway, it seems like this is one of those movies that should have just went straight to Netflix, or it should just went straight to VOD or whatever the hell, or just just whatever. It doesn't seem interesting at all. It really doesn't, and I hope that it's at least okay. Other than that, I don't even know if it really didn't bring me in to make me want to go see it. So it kind of like it's bad. The trailer just I don't know, it just wasn't there. But let's move on to the next one. So this is another WWE thing that I'm gonna talk about. Like I said, I'm trying to make this real quick. I'm gonna try and breeze through all this. But I wanted to talk about the Orton Lesnar match at SummerSlam, and just everything that's revolving around it. Now, if you watch SummerSlam, then you know how crazy that was. Now, SummerSlam was okay. It wasn't like the best. It wasn't the worst. It was just kind of like in the middle. It was okay. It was some matches that was like, no. But then the main event came, and the match between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. Now, let me put it out there. These are two of my favorite wrestlers. Put it all together, it would be probably I say Randy Orton, CM Punk, and then Brock Lesnar. It would be like that. And it was like I wanted to see this match because even though I knew that Orton wasn't going to come out, I kind of had hopes that he was going to come out the winner, or at least do something to where it's like he gave Brock Lesnar a run for his money. But that was kind of hopeful thinking, and I'm glad I didn't bet any type of money on it because Randy Orton got demolished in that match. It was just crazy. I don't know what they're trying to do with Orton. He just came back, didn't have a match before then, and no, actually, I believe he did have. Yeah, he had a match with Heath Slater, but I mean, any major match, and this is like a major match coming back off of his injury. And so now it's like you put him up against Brock Lesnar and you get him demolished. Like, I don't know where they were going with that storyline and what they were trying to do, but it's just they should have at least shown some type of strength from Randy Orton. But they just didn't. And so the outcome came to a TKO where Brock gave him some elbows to the head and one of them connected and opened up a big gash in his head. And just started pouring blood all over the ring, and it was just kind of like it was a whack ending to a SummerSlam, and I mean, I've heard that like it wasn't like it was a work that it was supposed to be that way, and they probably kept it closely tight knitted or whatever. That only maybe, Lesnar and Orton and Vince knew, or, just not even a handful of people knew. So it was like a lot of people was just wondering, like, what the hell happened? And so it was all a work. I don't know if, like, Lesnar coming in, like, connecting with Randy Orton like that, was that supposed to be part of it? But if it was, Orton is brave for doing that because I don't know if I can willingly let Brock Lesnar hit me in the head and open me up. I don't know if I'll be willing to do that. If they did, they must have paid Orton a crap ton of money just to do that. But after then, I guess a lot of people didn't know, like I said. So Lesnar and Jericho got into an altercation after the match because Jericho thought that, Lesnar shot on him. And, that he was doing the shoot, that he did that for real, and that he's reckless, and so they got into an altercation, and so they had to get broken up or whatever by Vince and Triple H, and then Vince broke it down to Jericho that it was a work, it was all supposed to happen like that because Jericho thought that it didn't, and so that just shows you how close the locker room is in the bag, how close these guys are. But at the same time, the match, it was kind of lackluster. It really was. It was I mean, it was decent, but it just, I thought that there were going to be more to it, and it wasn't. It was just a domination by Brock Lesnar again, and this is like a top name, and so it's just, I'm kind of like stuck on like, I don't know what they're doing with it, but I don't know, maybe in the weeks it all come to head, but it don't seem like Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton is jumping in the ring together anytime soon. So I don't know what they're trying to do with it. But in any case, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It left a sour taste in my mouth, and I would guess like a lot of other people who watched the match. But moving on to the last thing, which is going to be a quick takes, and I'm going to try and run through these things. Like, I'm not trying to talk for too long. You know, I'm tired, so I'm trying to get this out, you know, and put something, give y'all something to listen to. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking about a few things on quick takes, and I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible, like I said. So yeah, the first thing on quick takes is the Batman, or nah, I'm tweaking. Okay, Justice League is coming out next year. So everyone has been like wondering, like, okay, where's Superman? Da da da. And this is spoilers. If you haven't seen Batman v Superman, you've been warned. But Superman dies, and so everybody was saying that, like, yo, when he comes back, he's gonna be an all-black Superman, because it took elements from the death of Superman in the comic books, and so when he comes back, see, I'm not a comic book guy, but this is what I hear, so I'm just reporting what I hear. And so when Superman comes back in the comic books after his death, he has an all-black suit, and I guess he's like a bad Superman. I don't know. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but yeah, so. Henry Cavill on his Instagram or Twitter, one of them, on social media, I'm gonna just say that, on social media, he put out a very, like, I ain't gonna say very, he put up a real big close-up of what looks like the Superman fabric of the Superman suit, but all black. So, in a sense, I guess you could say it's kind of hinted that he's going to be an all-black Superman or a bad Superman or something of that nature. So, and that's all really was given. We haven't seen a full-body suit or a full-body picture of Superman being all black. So, I don't know. But it looks, I'm curious to see how it's going to play out and what they're going to do with this movie. And so, moving on to the next one. So, some more news may have came out about this, but by the time I put this up, but I'm gonna just talking on it. Zendaya as MaryJane. Now, it hasn't been confirmed that she is MaryJane, but speculation is that she is MaryJane. And for those who don't want, you know, a black girl playing a white girl role or whatever, it don't matter. You know, she's a character. She's a character. It doesn't matter. Just get over yourself. It hasn't been confirmed. It was like told by the Rap. This is what the Rap reported. And it basically was like said within a recent draft of the script that she is MaryJane, but really it hasn't been confirmed. So right now we're just keeping our ears and eyes open. I guess she was supposed to be playing a person named Michelle, I believe, but it hasn't really been released of who she's playing. So maybe she could be MaryJane, maybe not. So I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. If she is, I don't have a problem with it. And you trolls online, fuck you if you have a problem with a black girl who's not really black, she's mixed. But a black woman, a black young lady playing MaryJane. Fuck you if you have a problem with that. If she knocks it out the park, you won't be saying shit. If she is the greatest MaryJane that you've seen in live action. If she which she probably could outbeat Kirsten Dunst, but if she does, then you ain't got shit to say. So just shut up and just, if she is MaryJane, watch the movie, and if she does a bad job, say it. But if she doesn't, give her props. And moving on to the next one, Kevin Bacon wants to play Freddy Krueger, and I don't know, I can see that. I really can. I'm down with it. I don't know if they're gonna have him play it or if they're gonna have like a younger guy, but I don't think it matters. Like, I can see him as Freddy Krueger. I don't know if he can have the voice and just the characteristics of Freddy or whatever, but if they end up going with Kevin Bacon and having him as Freddy, I'll be down with it. Hopefully he looks great in the Freddy getup, and hopefully if they end up going through with a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, that he knocks it out the park. And this is something that hasn't been confirmed. He wants to blame. Like I said, no one has came out and said, "Oh, he's the new Freddy." But a fan said this on Twitter or whatever, basically just stating that I would love to see. I guess it was something like that along the lines of they would want to see Kevin Bacon as Freddy, and so he agreed. Like he was like, "Shit, I agree. Like I want to play Freddy." So so I mean, if it happens, I'm down for it to see what they can do with it. Hopefully, it'll be a great representation of Nightmare on Elm Street. But yeah, moving on to the next one. And so the Guardians of the Galaxy, as we already knew, has been officially confirmed for Infinity War, which we already knew. It's just been confirmed. We know that a lot of these characters are going to be Infinity War. This is the end all of the current universe of the MCU or whatever. Before they ain't gonna reboot it or restart it, but they're gonna have more than likely a new class of Avengers. But it's gonna be after Thanos. It's gonna be post Thanos. So this is kind of like the end all. Well, everything's been leading up to in Thanos, and then it's gonna an Avengers movie is gonna start off Phase 4. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy has been confirmed, and this is. They should just be like, okay, these are people that's confirmed, blah, 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 and just go down the line. Okay, so we won't have to be coming out next year and be like, oh, yeah, such and such is confirmed for it. Like, we already knew. But, yeah, moving on to the next one. And the last quick takes is Hugh Jackman has rapped for Wolverine 3. It hasn't had a official retitle. Wow. It hasn't had an official title to it yet. I mean, I've did it on the podcast, nice podcast like ago about the possible name that they have for Weapon X and whatever. But in any case, he has officially wrapped the movie. It's all done. It's all in the bag, and he celebrated by shaving off the beard that he has in there in the movie. And so I'm happy because I want to see this movie. I want to see if it is good. It's an R-rated movie. They going the whole Deadpool route, so hopefully it is good. Hopefully it is, and I'm just kind of happy because now things can get rolling. They do the editing, they do all this different stuff, add the effects, the CG, and all that good stuff. So this is a movie that I can't wait to see because Wolverine is one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this movie. And that concludes this 18th edition of the Take One podcast. I'd like to thank you guys for checking this out, for listening to me talk about just stuff I wanted to talk about and giving my thoughts and all that good stuff. That go ahead and leave a comment if you agree, disagree, start a conversation with whatever I'm talking about. Give me your opinions on what you thought about the topics of what I was getting at, as well as go ahead and leave a like. I know you're gonna like this, so go ahead and like it and check out everything else that I'm doing. Subscribe to the channel and share this with your friends. Maybe they'll end up liking it, which I know that they would, and then we can get something going. But in any case, like I said, check out everything else that I'm doing, my movie reviews and all that stuff. Like I said before at the beginning of the podcast, I got a review of Stranger Things Season 1, which I hope it is Season 1. They haven't confirmed it yet, which they need to. And as well as Season 1 of this show called Slasher. I highly recommend you guys check it out if you like, I don't know, stupid horror. You'll like it. And it is not stupid horror or whatever. It's actually a pretty decent show. But go ahead and check it out. Check out my review first and then, go watch the show. It's on Netflix, so go ahead and do that as well as Strange Things is on Netflix. And I will be putting out, I have a Kubo review that I'm going to be putting out. It's just, like I said, with the job, I haven't had time to do it. As well as I'm going to be putting out a Don't Breathe review. As well, and I'm going to have a few other reviews. I'm going to have a Captain America review coming out before Captain America Civil War ends up hitting on Blu-ray, so look out for that. And I'm going to have a few other things coming out, and I'm going to maybe put out another podcast at the end of this week. If I don't, it's going to be one next week. And I'm going to try and keep all this stuff pumping. Catch me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that good stuff. Everything is in the link in the description below. Everything else, Yeah, everything is in the description below from the movie reviews and everything else. Is there anything else I'm missing? Nope, I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so I hope to catch you guys next time. And until then, peace out.